Do you guys remember video games based off movies? Because I do. I used to play them a lot. Like, I mean a lot. Some of them being Batman Begins, Warriors, Chicken Little, Spider-Man 2, Peter Jackson's King Kong, Curious George, Ice Age 2, The Meltdown, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, Scooby-Doo, Night of 100 Frights, and the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. My favorites being Batman Begins and King Kong. I used to play those a lot. Like, I mean a lot. I would replay them many times. Although I don't think I ever beat them once. I don't know. I never beat much games when I was a kid. I did replay them a lot though. So, whatever happened to these games? Well, nothing. They're not gone, they're still here. Then how come we don't know about them as much? Well, we kinda grew up, didn't we? You know, many of these games are targeted towards children, although some of them not. Many of them are. And as children, we don't know much about what's a good game and what's not. We see a familiar character and we want to play that game. Although some of these games aren't bad, some of them are great. Like The Warriors, Spider-Man 2, those are great games. And also GoldenEye 007, that was considered to be a fantastic game back then when it was made, and still is. But what about all those other games? Well yeah, they're bad. So why are these games bad? Well, these games are bad because, well, many of them, they're just cash grabs. Quick cash grabs. Many of these games have a deadline because, well, they want to ensure the game comes out at the same time the movie comes out. So the game is essentially living off the hype of the movie. So a lot of these games are just bad. So although these games did die off a bit, there are still a lot of them alive now. Many of them are still bad. Like, did you guys know that Kick-Ass 2 had a game? Yeah, me either. And you know why? Because it's bad. No one cares about the game. Sure, the movie's alright, but like, we didn't ask for a game about it. There are tons of superhero games already. We don't need another one. And speaking of superhero games, I bet if we were back like 10 or 15 years, there would be video games based off all those Marvel movies we have today. Also, did you know Hotel Transylvania 3 had a game? Or how about DreamWorks Dragons? No, because we don't care about playing those games. Those aren't games we want to play. So we can get a sense of what a good game looks like, let's talk about GoldenEye 007, which is regarded to be one of the best video game movies out there. So first of all, this movie was released well after the movie was released because they cared about making a good game. They didn't want to release a shit game. They knew they weren't done, so they delayed the game. This showed that the producers actually cared about the game. They wanted to make a good game. To them, this wasn't just a quick cash grab to make a few bucks out of. They wanted to make a game that people would play and enjoy. Another game made by Rockstar, The Warriors, was also made well after the movie came out. This shows that they didn't want to make a game just because there's already a following around the title. They want to make a game to be played with enjoyment. The multiplayer in 007 was good. It is something that many believe pioneered couch gaming, casual couch gaming. It inspired many shooters out there today, and it was just fun to play with friends. The graphics in 007 were also good for its time, and that shows that the developers really polished the game, unlike a game like Kick-Ass 2, which came out in 2014. And the graphics in the game, well, they're on par with Jet Set Radio, which was released in 2002. So I mean, I appreciate the art style that we were going for. We could have made it a lot better. The level design was also good in 007. The game made sense, it was fun to play, and you had a motive. It wasn't a buggy, bland mess made by the developers just to earn a couple of bucks. It was a game made by the developers to truly be a game to be played for fun. Okay, now that we're done talking about what is considered to be the best video game out there, let's talk about what is considered to be the worst video game out there. E.T. This game, well, first of all, the developers had a deadline for this game. That deadline being 5 weeks. Some video games take years to make, so I don't even know how you could expect a good game to come out of 5 weeks. And well, it wasn't a good game. It was a bad game. It was a horrible game. Why? Because it wasn't properly taken care of. They only had 5 weeks. It was rushed, really rushed. When the game was released, it had a lot of glitches and bugs that made the game unplayable. It wasn't an exciting game either. It was going to be a puzzle game. But even if the puzzles were exciting, people wouldn't have known because the game was filled with glitches and bugs, making the game unplayable. This shows how quick cash grabs don't work. People won't play a game if the gear is bad, no matter what's on the title. Of course you know what happened next, everyone knows. The whole game crash and whatnot and all that New Mexico landfills or whatever. But what we can learn from this is that video games need time. They need time to be properly made. Make sure they're fun, make sure they're tested for glitches, bugs, and any game-breaking errors that there could be in the game. If all games are rushed and solely intended to make money, then we wouldn't have any good games at all, and people wouldn't play video games because they just wouldn't be fun.